Hello and welcome to Break the Silence, the podcast from Aid to the Church in Need that shines a light on the reality of the persecuted church today. And I'm really delighted to have with me today on Break the Silence our friend Tobias Yahaya. Tobias Yahaya is this year's 2025 Aid to the Church in Need UK Red Wednesday Courage to Be Christian Award winner. And what a winner he is too. I was very, very delighted to meet Tobias when I travelled earlier this year to his city of Sokoto, which is right in the far northwest of Nigeria, a place very, very different from the UK, where there is Sharia law, where there's systematic oppression against minorities, including Christians especially, and where there is a backdrop of violence, of persecution, and of endemic poverty. So, Tobias, really welcome to Break the Silence. Really good to be with you today. Thank you for coming. And we wanted to start, if we may, by asking you to share with everyone the events of the 19th of April 2023.
Thank you, John. Thank you. I'm happy to be here, and it's an opportunity for me to be here, to share my voice to the world. It was a great experience where, in the presence of many, in physical and then online, countless online, I was honored to be the 2025 winner of the Courage to Be Christian Award in AC in London. It was an honor, and to my family, honor to my diocese, honor to my bishop, honor to all the persecuted Christians all over the world. Mm-hmm. Like I said that day, wherever you're feeling persecuted, you have to know that far in the world, people see your pains, people know your pains, and people pray for you, and people wish you well. So I think there is reason to carry on our feet. Thank you for having me here.
Not at all. It'd be lovely to have you. Yeah. So the centre of your experience, and in many ways, which explains whole background to your story, is the terrible incident that took place now nearly 2.5 years ago at home. Can you share with us a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, it was an experience of near death for me. Yeah, God saved my life on the 9th of April in 2003. I was in my house with my wife and children. 3 a.m. in the morning, and these 3 young men came into my house. They came into my house. I saw them coming through a window. We have a house like that is high protected and fenced, but they managed their way in. So when I saw them through the window, I was having the debate in my head as to whether to come outside to meet them or to remain inside and allow them access it. But I think the danger allowing them come inside is more than coming outside. So.
Particularly when you've got family inside.
I have family. I remember that time Emmanuel was barely 4 months old. So
your youngest son, youngest child.
So I decided to come outside. And when I opened my door to come outside, there wasn't any conversation between me and them. The next thing I felt was the sensation of pains in my chest. This man named Ibrahim brought out a knife and stabbed me in the chest. When he stabbed me in the chest, I fell down bleeding. The two of them went off. They ran off, thinking that maybe their mission has been accomplished, so they left. But Ibrahim was still standing on me with his knife. So when I saw that Ibrahim was standing on me with his knife, I tried to stand up. In trying to stand up, Ibrahim brought out knife again to stab me for the second time. And I was able to use my hand and hold the knife. When I held the knife, Ibrahim screwed the knife in my hands, which I had to let go. So that was no good in physical combat. He was trying to stab me again. I was trying to dodge him. We were in physical combat when my wife came outside. It's not a situation where we have a policing system that you can just make a call, I'm in trouble, come and help me. It's a different case altogether. So the only option we had was my wife screaming for help.
Screaming as loud as she can, I'd imagine.
She was screaming for help, neighbors. If you, a typical Nigerian woman, you would understand what I mean when I say screaming. It was not something, she was seriously screaming for assistance. And luckily, our neighbors came outside and Ibrahim was apprehended. I lost a lot of blood. I was rushed to the hospital, and when I regained my consciousness, I think about after 24 hours, I turned and I saw Ibrahim by my side in the hospital. Also
That's extraordinary. He was actually in the hospital bed next to you.
Also receiving treatment, So I turned and I asked Ibrahim, why do you want to kill me? The priest was with me then, my vicar general.
Vicar general of the diocese of Sokoto.
So, concentrate on your health. Why are you talking to this man? Concentrate on your health. Why are you talking to this man? I was asking, but Ibrahim could not talk. I saw him in tears, but he was taken into custody. And after my recovery, we went to court. And in the court, that was when Ibrahim testified that they saw me as a threat to their society, a threat to their children.
Why did they see you as a threat?
Because I'm a catechist, and I wear a cassock to be distinguished.
Just being the cassock?
Yeah, to be distinguished. So they saw me as somebody who can influence their children into his own feet. That's why they thought of attacking me in the first place. So Ibrahim was sentenced to 1 year imprisonment for making an attempt on my life. He was sentenced to an imprisonment, and after the sentence has been passed, I asked the Muslim judge for a permission. I said I wanted to hug Ibrahim in the court. I saw the expression of disbelief, disappointment, and all it was from the faces of the people in the court. Even the judge asked, "What is your name again?" I told him, "My name is Tobias." "You want to hug him?" I said, "Yes, I want to hug him." And I was given permission. So I went up and I met Ibrahim where he was standing, and I hugged him.
You hugged him in the courtroom?
Yes, and I hugged him and I shook his hands and I told him, "I have forgiven you."
Wow.
I told him, "I have forgiven you." So
but he tried to kill you, this man, and yet...
Yes, he tried to kill me, but I think I prefer to see it in a more positive angle than negative angle. His intention was to kill me, but God did not permit him. So there is reason for me to be happy. And then I saw in him a human being who can love and be loved, who can forgive and be forgiven. And Jesus taught us that we have to forgive. How many times will my brother sin against him and I forgive him? 7 times? Jesus said no. 70 times 7.
Yeah.
So I'm a Christian, and I'm also a leader in Christianity, so I have more reasons to forgive him. And also, I don't want to lock somebody into my mind to the fact that I cannot forgive this person. So if we keep people in mind for offending us, how many people are going to keep in mind in a lifetime? There is always going to be offense, for instance. So that's why I decided to say, and true from my heart, I have forgiven him.
Well, that's amazing that you should forgive him like that.
Yeah.
But he was sentenced to prison, and despite trying to kill you, the prison sentence, I think, was only a year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to go into the judicial system of whatever they do. It's actually not my, whether he was favored or whether he was not favored. That is not my area of concentration. My area of concentration is that he made an attempt on my life, and God saved me. And also, I have to preach my faith in whatever condition I find myself. And I'm sure I preach my faith by forgiving him in the court. I am sure maybe many people are inspired, many people are surprised. So I think whatever the judicial system do is their what we call cup of tea in Nigeria, not really mine.
Yes, it's not in your remit.
Yeah.
But I believe you went and tried to visit him.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Yeah, I was reading a story about Pope St. John Paul, where he almost got killed by an assassinator, and after his recovery, he went to prisons to go and see So I made an attempt, and me and my wife visited his mother 2 times in an attempt to visit Ibrahim in prisons, but for whatever reason, I wasn't given the chance to go and see him. So I didn't know what the reason was, but I was not given the chance to go and see him. But last time I saw Ibrahim was in the court.
In the court itself?
Yeah.
But this wasn't the first time you had an attack like this. Been a couple of other times. I think there was a time when you were on your motorbike on your way to the cathedral. Can you tell us about that?
I was going for a Sunday mass. I was in my cassock on my motorbike. I think you saw the motorbike.
Yes. So
I was early. I had to go to church as early as 5 o'clock. And unfortunately for me, this day I was running late. So I was speeding. I was speeding from a place called Jalen in Sokoto to the cathedral, which is located in Bellowe. So through the road, I was speeding. I didn't realize it until I come too close to either stop. If I stop, I knew the consequences. So there's this ambush. You can call it a blockage. It's long still to the road. So I was thinking, should I stop? Should I turn? There's no space to turn because I'm sure they're going to get me. So I made a decision that let me speed up and enter the ambush.
You actually sped up into the ambush.
So I pressed the door of my bike more and I entered the ambush.
And this was a pole.
Yeah.
A pole across the road.
Yes.
And you smashed into it.
And I entered it. And I was flinked on the drainage. My bike flinked the other way. That was not. I got dislocation in my
left arm.
In my left arm, yeah. So that day I was saved by some of the parishioners. Our parishioners who were going for mass, and they saw me in the ditch, and the
ambushers themselves had fled.
They fled. When they saw me in that condition, they fled. They left me to my feet. So my parishioners helped me, and I was in the hospital throughout that day receiving treatment. So. Yeah.
So would you, based on this and other experiences, would you say that Christians in Nigeria suffer persecution? Because there's been a lot of debate as to whether this is the case. Would you, from your experience, from your...
People can have their opinions,
yes,
which is okay. You know, you can have your opinion about me.
Yes.
But your opinion may not be my reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but sometimes, no matter how concrete our opinion is, when there is reality on the ground, there are facts on the ground, I think we should be honest enough to say this is the reality and this is the fact, you know, systematically, physically, in whatever aspect. We know what is happening in Nigeria today. It can be in any form you see it, in any way you see it. People are being diplomatic for the sake of interreligious dialogue. But you ask yourself, does this diplomacy help in any way? Mm-hmm. Are we in any way being free because of our diplomacy? So whether you see it as a persecution of Christians and Muslims, or you see it as a persecution of Christians or persecution of Muslims, I have this question to ask anybody who feels otherwise. Who can name one terrorist group in Nigeria that is bearing Christian name? Mm. Or who can name one attack that has been carried out in Nigeria to take countless lives of human beings that is geared towards saying this is a group formed by a group of Christians. They recite a particular verse in the Bible before they carry out the attack. Mm. I don't think there is.
There is. And of course, we mustn't forget that you might well be about the same age as Deborah Samuel, who was a Christian from Sokoto, who died in horrific circumstances, I think the year before your attack in Sokoto. And I remember driving past her school, your former parish priest, Father Nuhu, drove us past the school. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It was an unfortunate situation for her and her family, and for those of us who are Christians in that aspect, in that part of the world, because this is a young lady, a promising young lady in her high institution education. And Deborah, I think then was 19 to 20. You know, we live actually close by. She was close by to my parish, and
so you knew her quite well.
Yeah, and I may not know her as a person, but I knew the church she attends. I know her pastor. I know her, so I can say that I know her. This is a situation where a girl is in a school, and in the school they have this WhatsApp platform where they share information.
WhatsApp group.
Where they share information about lectures, about tests, about whatever it is. And Deborah got through her exams successfully. Mm-hmm. So the only crime Deborah committed was to post on their platform to say, "Thanks to Jesus, I got through my exams well." And for whatever reason, some of our classmates felt it was a blasphemy against the prophet, and tragically, Deborah lost her life. They conspired against her to say she blasphemed, and she was stoned to death.
Her classmates, who was it who stoned her?
Yeah, she was stoned to death. Then they used old tires, put petrol and set Deborah ablaze. It was a tragic event to behold. You know, losing a human being in that it was tragic.
And yet, despite these incidents, would you say that the church in your part of the world, dangerous though it is to be a Christian, perhaps one of the most dangerous places to be a Christian, would you say the church is growing?
Jesus promised us that the gates of hell shall not prevail against us. So, you see, last Sunday, I was watching online, I saw my bishop confirmed over 100, just yesterday, confirmed over 100 children receive the sacrament of confirmation. So you see, I think no matter the persecution, the challenges, whether it be physical, be it systematic, whatever it is, Christianity is growing, I believe. It's growing in a way we cannot explain, because living in that kind of environment where it is difficult for the seed of Christianity to grow, and still growing though it is, it's only God that can explain how it happens.
Yeah, it's just incredible. So, I mean, Aid to the Church in Need is supporting catechists, it's supporting the training of catechists, it's supporting seminarians at the Good Shepherd Seminary in Kaduna. In the space of 25 years, the seminary has grown from about 7 students to more than 250. There's mass stipend, support for trauma counselling, badly needed in a situation of terrible violence and persecution. What difference do you think Aid to the Church in Need is making?
First of all, is something recommendable to see that you are in a different world, and somebody also in a different world cares about your pains. That you can just say, I'm not there, I don't care about it. You have the right to say that. But this is an organization that feel it is okay to do God's work in this way. So you see, when you have the feeling that a long journey of these miles, somebody cares about my pains, somebody feels my pains, or somebody is ready to help me, assist me in whatever way he can. It can be through financial assistance, or like you said, of training catechists for evangelization, funding seminaries, raising structures, I'm sure, in seminaries as well, being step-ins to the priest to encourage them. So we cannot overemphasize the importance of role Aid to the Church in Need play in the continuation of evangelization in that part of the world. I can be confidently enough to say they're doing God's work. You know, it's the way of like they say, you can go to the mission by giving, or you can go to the mission by going. I think in that part of the world, ASEAN contributes on both sides. They go, they see with their own eyes, and they also contribute by praying and by providing material things that are needed for evangelization to grow. So, on behalf of every Christian, every catechist, every seminarian, every priest that receive any assistance from Aid to the Church in Need, I think we're enormously grateful for contributions. In Nigeria, you know, when somebody say thank you, it means do more. That's
Absolutely, yes.
That's Nigerian language. When somebody say thank you, it means do more. But I think what we promise you is that whatever the persecution is, the church will continue to grow.
Oh, that's
your
really
sacrifices are not going in vain. We see your sacrifices, we see your efforts, and we really appreciate it, and we pray God's blessings upon all of you.
God bless you for saying that, and it's very wonderful to hear you and for you to carry on, because of course, despite all your persecution and the incidents that happened to you, you made a wonderful decision to continue, but it must have been a very hard decision. Perhaps you could describe,
John, is
how you got to that decision.
We're human beings, you know. We are bound to have emotions of love, emotions of fear, emotions of anger, whatever it is. You know, when those attacks kept on coming to me, I kept on asking myself, what does God want to communicate to me through this? Because of course, in every situation, there must be the hands of God trying to say something about it. You know, so it was a difficult moment for me and my family. You know, there was, but through counseling, you know, the counseling and prayers, bishop was there, priests were there for me, my family, my wife and children were there for me. Traumatic moment for my daughter Agnes. I must admit, she was traumatized by that situation.
Because she saw it, I think.
Yeah, she saw me bleeding. She saw me lying down helpless on the ground. So it was a traumatic moment for her at that moment. But there were counselings given, there were prayers offered, and my mother is somebody that I can never do without for now. You know, she said, where God intends us to be may not be as comfortable unto our taste, but that's where we find true peace. And at that moment, nobody would have translated to be that because of this incident, you will be going to Europe. So really, in whatever situation it is, there must be a message God is trying to communicate to us. So I made the decision to continue because of support from my bishop, support from priest, my mother and my wife and my family. So we just decided that it is the right way to go.
Well, that's amazing. And now you've had 10 days in the UK, and you've
11 actually.
11 to be precise.
Yeah.
And what have you made of the UK?
It's a wonderful experience. First time outside of Africa, and the weather. I was a bit affected the first day I came with the flights, the weather, but I was met to feel at home from the airport. Nathalie met me in the airport, and she made me feel that, come here, you're at home here. So, and also, I met you and for dinner. It made me feel at home as well. So it's more like I have left a home and I'm now in another home. So it was very comfortable for me to be here, and I must tell you that I enjoyed every bit of my stay here in experiences. Traveling from here, me and you traveled to
Bromsgrove.
We met
Birmingham.
Met Teresa and her family. Nice experience, a nice woman as well. And coming back again, I had some interviews with the school students, and everybody is showing me that you are not in these pains alone. We feel your pains, we care about your pains, and only God knows how many people promise to pray for me. You're in our prayers, you and your family are in our prayers, and it's something you'll be happy about, knowing that somebody somewhere is praying for you. So it's a nice experience. Been in London, I've been with many people. I thank God I'm here.
And you've survived the cold.
Yeah, I have survived the cold. Very, very. It's not easy, because if you're living in Sokoto, where the weather is very tough in terms of heat, and all of a sudden you're in London, where the weather is extremely cold. But I'm coping well.
You are coping well. You've been amazing in terms of acclimatization to our environment. Well, Tobias, it's been wonderful to have you with us. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us on the Break the Silence podcast. You can be assured of our prayers, our support, and our continual engagement in supporting and giving a voice to the church, the suffering church in northern Nigeria. And your witness and your courage, your faith are great inspiration to each and every one of us. If you've enjoyed watching this, even if you've come to us for the first time, please do subscribe to our channel and to the podcast. And if you can like the podcast as well, so much the better. We know this is a message that really needs to be shared as widely as possible. It's taken a lot of courage and a lot of effort for Tobias to make this journey and to share with us, because it's not easy leaving your young family behind, and the business of getting passports and visas and acclimatizing to an environment where he didn't know anyone at all. And he's been so gracious in responding to each and every request that has come his way. So please do share his story. It's such an important thing to do in whatever platform, virtual or in person, in whatever way, because it's giving a real testimony of hope in a situation often overshadowed by darkness. So it just remains for me to thank Tobias once again, to wish him well on his journey back home, and to say Godspeed, and to ask each and every one of you listening to pray with and for Tobias. Thank you so much, and thank you, Tobias.
Thank you, John. Thank you for having me.